Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Seen and Heard.
Hello, everyone. Please say hi in the comments so that we know that we are live and that you are interested.
That you are still alive.
Exactly. The topic today, I think, is interesting to a lot of our viewers. Notion is quite a popular tool that has a lot of options that people aren't using. And Sanja here today is very generous with her knowledge. Sanja, could you tell our audience who you are?
Hi, thank you for inviting me today, and good morning to everyone who's watching today. My name is Sanja, and I'm not really good in at introductions, so how to form it now? I'm a Notion Solutions partner. That means that I'm actually helping companies in helping customers companies customize their Notion, how they work, how they use that system.
Okay, you've already said their notion, which I
Yes.
think is a big part of what you talk about. Why their notion and not notion?
Because from my point of view, Notion is not a typical tool that you sign up for and then you use it as it's already set up. Notion is more like if you ever played with some Lego blocks when you were young, or maybe even today. That's something very similar. It's a tool that you actually can customize, and where you can build systems inside of that tool that will be adapted to your own processes. So that's the main difference. It's, I would say, out of the box tool.
How do you start with that?
Uh, you can start, well, people start in different ways. Most people, Notion is not just for business. Notion can also be used to for private things, for example, to plan your trip. And this is how people usually start with Notion. They would like to, I don't know, track their activities, maybe workouts or something like that, or they would like to plan their trip. So this is how they get introduced to Notion. But then you realize the same way that you're doing that, you could also use Notion to track your business processes, to set your business goals, to plan your projects, to manage tasks, to even prepare a live event like this one.
Or plan your dogs? Uh,
Yeah, I actually have a dashboard in Notion. Oh, I actually have a dashboard in Notion that where I'm uh, planning my dog trainings. But unfortunately, it's not enough just to plan it in Notion. You also have to do it properly. So mine is still not so well trained. I'm more the one that is being trained by her.
okay, you're talking there, and I expect food. What is happening is probably.
Yeah. Every time I start a meeting, she demands food. So I have to have something like this by hand.
Oh,
And
she's just heard the sound. The excitement is there.
They are very bribable. So that's part of a training.
yeah.
But you said that the notion is like kind of a Lego bricks. But you don't get any blueprint in the box
You don't, but
like you do in a
you can
box of
get some
Lego bricks.
do yeah, but
So
not
so this is where you
all
come
Lego
in
bricks
and
come with blueprints, right? You can
no,
also create your own systems. You don't have
yeah.
to follow the blueprint every time. There are Notion templates. So those are systems that are already pre-created for use. For example, I'm also creating such templates, and they're available. Most of them are free for people to use. And just as an example, one of the templates would be, how do you track your business goals? So first, how do you set your business goals for the year? And then how do you track them weekly? That's one of the examples. Another one would be maybe time tracking. When you're managing your tasks, but you would also like to know how much time have I spent for this task, and then how much time for some other tasks. Then this is also something you can do in Notion. I also created a template for that, or for content management. There are so many, there are thousands and thousands of templates. You just have to go and search, what is it that I would like to solve today, and then look through those templates and find something that you like. Then you can bring it into your own workspace and you can customize it. And that's the nice thing.
We have one viewer so far saying hi in the comments. That's Ivana saying, "Oh my God, he's so cute." Not you, Darko.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's a she, isn't it?
No, it's a he.
It's a he.
Yeah. Here is a she.
Oh, yeah.
Now she's confused.
What is this?
Yeah, they're playing around, but they are still quite quiet. But from my experience, and Sanja helped me customize a template for me, I can say you actually do it for the person or the company that needs exactly what they want. So templates do not get you far. They just start to be confusing, and they are not used for what you can do and exactly your situation.
I mean, templates are a great way to start, and they're a great source of inspiration because when you just start using Notion, you don't know what is it that you can do with it. And then when you are looking through those templates, then you can get ideas. You can see how others built some systems, how others created dashboards. What did they use? How did they connect that data? And that is pretty important. That is probably one of the main differences between, I would say, Notion and some other tools, that your data in Notion can really be connected. So your tasks are not just some standalone tasks. They're connected to your projects. They are connected to your clients. They're also connected to the meetings that you're having. Everything is really nicely connected, linked there. And it gives you a different way. It gives you the opportunity to really see your work from a different perspective then.
How did you start with Notion?
By chance. I was forced to, actually, to be honest.
That's not by
And
chance, then. You were
uh,
you were forced.
I was forced. Yeah, I didn't have the any saying in it, because in 2019 I was working for a Dutch startup, and we were using many different tools then, from I don't know, all the Google tools, then Jira, Confluence, Asana, whatever. And I felt like, we have everything that we need. But then they said, we are going to start using Notion. And that's it. My first feeling was, that is not necessary. Why are we now adding another tool to our toolbox? Everything is working fine. And I was actually responsible to set up their Notion for the whole company, to create the wiki pages for all the departments and so on. And I did it, of course. I mean, that was my job at the time. But it wasn't until we actually started working in it and until we actually started managing some new projects that it really clicked for me. That is when I felt the difference between managing a project in Notion and managing a project in, for example, Asana. It's completely different, and it's really hard for me to explain that the difference until you have actually tried it. But I've seen that my own work has changed. It's become more creative. I enjoy managing my projects much more. They're managed better also. And it's not just me. I'm working with multiple clients and I've worked with them over the years. And the stories that I'm seeing, the cases with companies using Notion, is that work really gets connected and you are not working in silos so much anymore, especially in bigger companies where, marketing is doing one thing, but then sales is doing another thing. Notion really gives you the opportunity to connect them.
Yeah, and it's quite versatile because, like you said, these old tools that you were using before, the companies that you worked for were using before. I remember Jira fondly, kind of, are very specialized, and there is only one way how you use it, and this should be used only this way. And Notion allows you to go different ways, however you actually like it, or how company can use it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Notion is for everyone. There are some people who prefer to have, a very rigid setup where they just open the tool and somebody else tells them this is how you're going to work. And it will be like this for the next 5 years. So if you're like that, then Notion is probably not a tool for you because it only thrives when you actually customize it to your own needs. Also, Notion keeps developing itself. And Notion today and Notion 1 year ago, those are two different tools. The possibilities that you have today are immensely better than what we had a year ago, and it keeps going forward. I joined one internal meeting lately, and my mind was really blown off because they showed us what is coming very soon. It's still not public, but it's related to AI in Notion. And n- AI is already in Notion. But for me, it was like, I'll be honest, so far it was like, nah, okay, it's here, but it's really nothing special, at least so far. But with what's coming very, very soon, it will really change how you can work and it will really save people so much time. It's not just, about uh, it's so much more than just editing or writing some texts using AI. It will be really incorporated in everything that you do, and so much manual work, you will just be able to skip it.
And about all that, you also write on your website, and you forgot to mention that you're certified Notion consultant and partner. So it's a big, from what I understood, it's kind of a big thing. There are not that many partners of Notion as a company
Yeah.
around the globe.
Yeah, I mean, it is a big thing for me, definitely. uh, I was already working as a Notion consultant for a couple of years, but I just didn't dare to go and get that certification because it's not simple, it's really thorough. And I was just, there were, at the moment then when I was thinking about it, there were less than 100 people certified in the world and still are. So I was looking at those people, and I was kind of, am I really part of that group? But I mean, I know you also talk about community in your show, and the community of Notion is really a wonderful thing. And that is what pushed me to actually, try it and then also get certified.
Are you the only Croatian person there? I'm
Yeah,
curious.
so far, yeah.
Okay, that's a big task. Are you representing all of us?
Yeah.
Um, has
But
English?
unfortunately, a Notion in Croatia is still not so popular. I hope that will also change with time. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's also my fault. Maybe I'm not doing enough, to popularize it here locally. I mean, mostly the people that I work with are from US. So in Croatia, it's still kind of something that people think it's really not for them. But that's mostly because they don't understand what it is. And maybe I'm not doing the best job in explaining what it actually is and what it can do. So I don't know.
Yes, it's all your fault.
Yeah.
You're the only person responsible.
Exactly. Well, I'm not sure it's about Notion at all. I'd say all those tools that you mentioned before are quite known and used in software development industry in Croatia, but other industries just don't see that they can use it and they can be helped by them. So I would say this kind of tools are not used that much in Croatia at all. So I would say this
Yeah.
is a part of a problem why Notion is not that much used.
Yeah, it's a general problem. I mean, people are still stuck in their emails and in their WhatsApp messages, and they find it normal, while I think really it's not normal that you're using
No,
WhatsApp
WhatsApp
to
messages is not
collaborate.
normal.
I mean, just yesterday I was in a meeting and I'm working with a client, and now we are actually trying to get them out of WhatsApp messaging and getting that into Notion. And it's not just about, being, say, more professional. It's also about thinking about the people that you collaborate with. When you're sending a WhatsApp message to somebody, they might be having lunch at that moment or being with their family or something. But when you're posting that task inside of Notion, then it's in the business hours. It's up to them to decide when they will actually go and look at it and work on it. So that's just one aspect of it. Another one is that when you're actually working through emails, through your messages, you are losing so much information, you're losing your knowledge that you actually have. And when you're working through Notion, your knowledge is there also for the next project and you can use it. It's, I mean, you're just wasting your own resources if you're refusing to use such tools. I understand it can be hard in the beginning. Everything that is new to us, it's always hard.
There goes the
So
bribe.
yeah, there goes the bribe. There goes the bribe, but I'm not sure that it will be enough. We will have to think of something else. Yeah, sorry.
No worries. I was going to ask if English was the key to get certified in Notion for you, and if there is enough training for Notion in other languages. Is that one of the reasons people are afraid, or can they get trained in Croatian and other languages as well?
Okay, I mean, Notion is definitely not as a tool available in Croatian, but from my point of view, I don't think that is really needed. I think Croats are used to using apps in English and they prefer it that way. I mean, let's move on to something else. Like, for example, just imagine having your Excel translated to Croatian. For me, that's a nightmare, and it's my mother tongue, but I don't know how to work in Excel that's in Croatian. And I think that applies to most tools. So I don't think that's really the problem for Croats. Those who are meant to be using the tools, they are comfortable with English in those tools. When it comes to training, well, I did provide some trainings also in Croatian. um, I don't think that's really the issue. I think, especially for Notion, you can find so many resources, so many educational content in many languages. It depends also on the region. I don't know, Spain and Spanish, they will definitely have more content in the local language than Croats will. But that's the same with everything.
So it's English only.
It's not English only, but it's
But you can put
easier.
you put your data in the language you like, so there's no
Yeah.
problem in that part.
Yeah, of
Uh,
course. That's also just one thing. If you prefer, you can, your tasks don't have to be called tasks in Notion. They could be called zadaci, if that is what you prefer. And your projects don't have to be projects, they can be projekti. You can change all that and you can customize it to your own language.
I think that's
exactly.
important to mention because there's a bunch of small things sometimes that people see and get intimidated by because they think, oh, this is now how I need to call things because in the template this is it. And it can be an issue.
And how can Notion help some, let's say, not software development company? We can even start with some smaller companies or even solopreneurs. Let's say, for example, here, an English teacher or a photographer. How can they use it to find it helpful and to be better at work what they do?
Well, for an English teacher could use Notion to prepare for any future lessons. So they could create their own plan of lessons for their students. They could also use Notion to collaborate with students. It depends, of course, what kind of a teacher it is and what kind of a setup it is, but it can actually be used to collaborate with students to give them homework through Notion. And they could also use Notion to deliver such homeworks back. What else could a teacher use? Teacher could use Notion to research some topics that could be interesting for their students. So, to research, to prepare, to plan, to manage, whatever it is that they actually need. For a photographer, you could probably, what would be interesting is to have a sales pipeline inside of Notion to see your potential clients, to have a good overview of who did I already contact, in what stage are my potential clients, and also then when they are not just potential anymore, when they actually become your true clients, to manage what you're actually doing for them, to have a record of I created this photo shoot for them back in January. Now they are requesting another one. So for me, it's really easy and quickly to find all the information from what happened in January, and then I can easily prepare a new offer for them, just as an example.
A CRM, basically.
Yeah, basically, you can create your own CRM.
So it's not just project management; it's also CRM. But well, from what I use
It's
it for,
whatever you need.
yeah.
It can really follow any process inside of your company that you have. It can be a CRM, it can be a content management tool where you can plan your content, where you can draft your posts, see your marketing campaigns, and so on.
And you need to pay how much for that? And before you answer it, I will also say that Sanja, as a Notion partner, has also prepared some goodies for you, and this will be available in a moment. So please stand by.
Well, you don't have to pay anything. You can use Notion for free, up to a certain point, of course. You can use Notion for free. There is no time limit for how long you can use it. You can create as many pages as you would like inside of Notion. You can create your own databases. All that is free. But what is not free is using the advanced Notion AI. And what is also not free are the custom automations and stuff like that. So if that is something that you need, and usually bigger companies do need that, but it doesn't have to be a big company. When you want to automate some of the things, then you can do it directly in Notion. You don't have to use some third-party tools like, I don't know, Zapier or Relay or Make. You could do it directly inside of your own workspace, but for that you would actually need a business plan. And a business plan is, I believe, 19.5 euros per month. So I understand that people will not just sign up for it until they actually try it. And Notion is currently running a program that was mainly focused on startups, but they expanded it also to small businesses and even educators and so on. So what you can do is you can just click on that link that Darko showed, and you
Yeah,
can
sorry.
fill
This
out.
is this link, not the previous one that goes to your website. So
Oh,
this is the
sorry.
one.
Yeah. So this is the link. How it works, you just click on it, you fill out a very short form. It takes you probably 2 minutes, not more than that. And then you have your fingers crossed and you hope that your trial will be approved. This is not something that I can influence. And then you will get from 1 to 6 months of Notion Business plus AI for free. And then you can really test it and see whether this is something that is helping you in your business.
And you don't need to give any credit card
You
data
don't
to do
have to
that.
give any credit card details, nothing like that. What I would recommend to people is to sign up with their business email addresses, because that is what they're actually looking at. If you sign up with your personal email address, then they will consider your either somebody who is using Notion for some private things, or you're using it as a solopreneur. So then your chances of getting the full trial are slimmer. But if you sign up with a professional email address that has your domain, where they can actually go and see your website and see, okay, this is a real company, then your chances are higher that you will get approved for this.
So no Gmail, Yahoo, MSN
Yeah,
email
I wouldn't
addresses. Just
recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it. No. Anyone who still isn't a on a paid plan can apply for this. And really doesn't cost you anything, and maybe you can get something for free.
So even if I already have a free version, I'm using
Yes.
it, I can also apply. So it's not only for new users.
No, it's not only for new users, it's
Oh,
for any user. You can already be a Notion user, but the thing is, they won't give it to somebody who already used some trial in the past. So
It
if
has
you
to be your
already
first
had the
time.
chance, yeah. Or if you were already a paying user, then you won't get it. So it's not, sorry, early adopters. So it's mostly for new users and those that are still on a free plan.
And you've mentioned that some new AI features are coming soon. How
Mhm.
soon is that? Will these people
I don't
who
have
sign up
I don't
now
I don't
have
have
the
an
chance?
exact date, but I have a hunch that
she's not allowed to say. That's what she wants to say.
Okay, okay. Sorry.
No, I really don't have an exact date for it. Things are still being tested, so I don't think they even have a fixed date for it. So it will be out when it's ready, basically. It won't be out until they resolve some of the bugs and so on. But Notion is soon having their yearly big event that will be in somewhere mid September. And I do expect that on that event, many new features will be either released or announced. So that's usually how it goes. So I believe by the end of this year, we will get so much more from Notion, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I know it sounds, maybe like, of course, you are a Notion consultant, you will, say it's all great, but I won't. I mean, I said even with Notion AI in the beginning, for me, it was like, okay, it's Notion AI. I've seen other AIs, it's really not that special. But then when they showed me what it will be able to do, then I was really, I couldn't sleep that night, really. So because all the scenarios were just going through my head. Oh, we could do this, we could do that, they could do this. I was just really, really excited about that.
That's amazing. So, some of you people who scan this today might have a chance to actually use even better AI if you get a few months for free. So, that's quite an interesting proposition. And from what you've shared so far and from your enthusiasm, um, I could tell that people who like to be creative with their tools might get the most out of Notion. Would you agree with that?
Definitely, yeah. I think that creative people and people who like to, create, to develop new things, they will enjoy Notion to the fullest. Uh, but I think there is one misconception. You don't have to be a developer to use Notion. I'm not a developer. So I don't have a developer's background, and I was able to learn all that I need to actually use Notion. Of course, it took me a couple of years to get to a point where I'm now, but you don't have to spend years to actually learn it. Recently, I published a training that is in total 45 minutes. So, Notion for beginners. You can find it on my profile on my market where there are my free templates. It's free for anyone. So from what from what I've seen, because I've worked with so many people and I've seen what they struggle with, what they don't understand. So I tried to create a training that will explain those things in a short period of time. So, yes, you have to invest something in the beginning to be able to use it, but I really think it's worth it because the way that you will be working then and the time that you will be saving and the quality of work, it just cannot compare to the old ways. that we were used to.
For those of you who missed the affiliate link, you can always ask Sanja. Of course,
Sure.
she will provide it to you. And you mentioned this training for beginners.
We can
And if
show it
there's,
for a few more minutes, though.
yeah, we will pop it up on the screen a couple times, but just in case, right? It's not just for today. Sanja can give you this link in the future as well. I was wondering, for beginners, for people who are intimidated, or maybe they are overwhelmed by the amount of tools they've had to learn and use, and they don't want another one. How do you approach this beginner mindset? What are the first things you think people should learn about Notion?
I think the first thing is just, start with simple things. Create your free account. Don't even think about the paid one. Just create a free account and start playing with it. Create a new page. Start writing some text inside of that page. For example, try to write a new post for LinkedIn inside of Notion. Just one simple post, just to see, how it feels to write inside of that app. Because for me, it's very different. I know many people still use, for example, Google Docs to prepare some documents and so on. So, first thing I would do is, try to create one page, get the feeling of it, how it's actually working. From there, really depends on what is it that you're working on. I usually say to people, go and download the Notion's free projects and tasks template. That is usually a good starting point. And then you will get kind of the feeling of what the databases are. Because when I say databases, that can be, oh, I don't know anything about databases. I'm not a developer. You don't have to be. So you can really start using databases even if you have no idea what the databases are. But then, as you really work inside of it, I would recommend to learn the basics of databases, because that will help you in your daily life, in your daily work.
I have a feeling you have some training on that as well. Maybe
That's the
I'm
free
wrong.
training that I told about. Yeah,
It's all in there.
yeah, it's all in there.
And going from databases, what's the third step then for people who want to get into it?
Automations, that would be something, when you feel comfortable with databases, then start creating your first automations. For example, if you have a projects database and you have a tasks database and they're connected, say that when you mark one project as complete, automatically all your tasks that are linked to this project will also be complete. So you don't have to, move them manually from your dashboard or something like that. Automation will do that for you. That's just one example. And that is one automation that is really simple to set up.
So first get a feel for the tool, have
Yeah.
a look around, then start with a very simple, basic template that
Yeah.
you'll customize, learn about databases, and then go to automations.
Yeah. I mean, I think sometimes people rush with automations. And in general, I'm not someone who likes to say, we created this automation in 1 minute and it saved us thousands of hours. I think that's not a good thing, because when you're working with automations, I think you really have to think about your process. How will this have effect on your work? Because it's easy to automate something, but then things are happening automated, and if you didn't really rethink what are the possible scenarios, you could do some damage. So I wouldn't rush that.
Know your process really well
Yeah.
before you let it happen on its own. That makes a lot of
And
sense.
we have one question about rushing in, and it's really connected to the GDPR and US software in Europe. So I'll
Okay.
read it as it's quite long. It's from Samuel. Hi, Samuel. Good
Hi,
morning. I
Sanja.
must admit I'm not familiar with Notion at all, and I had to Google it. As much as I know, Samuel is in Germany, so it's not that much used in Germany, is it? Okay, someone said, my question is, why would I, as a startup from Europe, for example, Voltaria, store my data on an American server, especially since it appears to be proprietary software? Are these servers for Notion in Europe that operate in accordance with EU laws and data protection regulations? I hope my question is not offensive.
It's not offensive at all. And I'm sure that nobody at Notion would find this offensive, especially because there are already servers in Europe. It's just still not 100% available to anyone, but it will be. So they are working on this. They will have the possibility for EU customers to choose if they want to have their data stored on EU ground.
Okay, but are they at the moment GDPR compliant?
Yes,
Yes.
they
So it's
are.
not about physically where
No, but I
data
understand
is, but
Samuel.
still.
I understand Samuel. I understand Samuel, and it's not really a joke. We do have different laws in Europe, and then they have in the US, and the concern is very natural. And I understand why people would want the service to be in Europe. And Notion also understands that. They wouldn't be doing it now if they didn't understand it. So they do respect that. And really, unfortunately, I don't have a date, but I do hope by the end of this year it will be available for any EU customer to choose where they want their data to be stored.
Yeah, okay. So anyone in Europe can use it and be sure that their data are going to be in Europe in some amount of time, unknown at the moment. But this is a great segue to the next question I have about you. You said you were forced into using Notion with one of your clients, and is it the only client that is using Notion, and or are you using Notion with different clients also?
No, it's not the only client. I mean, at the moment, I'm working with uh, 6 clients, but my Notion projects, they don't always last for too long. They usually last for a couple of months, and then okay, I'm available for support if needed. But once we set up the system, that's basically it. Then I train them and they start using it, and it's their own. So I've worked over the years with 50 plus different clients with, for
International clients.
not all, mostly
Yeah.
international, but not all. I also worked with some local clients. Some of them were educators, some of them were small businesses, solopreneurs, some of them were marketing agencies, and so on. It's
Yeah.
nice that,
What I wanted to ask, it's
yeah.
not all US based.
No, no, it's not all US based. I still have some clients also in Croatia. I worked with clients from Australia, from Canada, from some Asian countries. So it's all over the world.
And when do people come to you? What is
Sorry?
normally when the people come to you? What is normally their desire or problem? When do they say, "Oof, I need someone to help me with Notion"?
Well, just yesterday I received one message from somebody who is completely new to me. They said, we watched some of the videos on Notion, and we would really like to know how we can create our own CRM system in Notion. What are the pros? What are the cons for it? And this is, for example, what they are looking for. It really they most of the clients come to me and start with some basic things, like basic needs, like we need to manage our projects better. That's the usual thing. But then it usually develops into much more, because then they get the feeling of how things can be done. So then we move to other processes as well, from managing also some people processes, SOPs, policies inside of Notion, issues, tracking issues that you have from your own customers. Then what else? Setting goals, managing some KPIs, whatever.
It sounds like you're good at showing them all the other possibilities that they have once they get started.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we first need to talk and see, what is it, what tools are you currently using, how are you currently working, and what are the problems that you're facing, what is not working well. I'm not forcing my clients to migrate absolutely everything into Notion. I usually say, if it's working fine, then don't touch it, at least not for now. Let's start with something that is a problem. Let's solve that, and then we will see, whether something else can also be migrated.
Where the clients actually find you? From what I've saw, you are really active on LinkedIn and visible and
I'm
always
actually
talking about
not.
Notion. Well, if it's anything that I see about Notion, it's on LinkedIn on your profile. So I would say in this way you are active, as
Yeah.
there are nobody else talking about it.
I have a
So
I have a love and hate relationship with LinkedIn. So I come and go. Sometimes I get fed up with it, and then just for 1 month, for 2 months, I won't post absolutely nothing, and then I will miss it. So I will come back, and then also on LinkedIn, I have some business friends that I like to connect with. Also, I learn some of the new things from them. So, yeah, LinkedIn is definitely not my source of clients. I think I earned more money on Vinted than I did on LinkedIn, to be totally transparent.
what is Vint?
Vinted is where you're selling your old clothes, like Newshkalo.
Okay, that's an interesting source of clients. Can you tell us more about that?
No, I mean that.
No.
Edita, you know what Vinted is.
Yeah, and now I wonder if you have like a Notion database for your clothes.
I do.
I had a
I do.
feeling.
I do. Vinted is an app where you can sell anything that's either new and you don't need it anymore, or something that is used. So I opened it this year during summer. I was just, I was cleaning up my closet, and I was sorry to throw everything out, and I earned some 200 euros already on Vinted, and that is probably more than I earned in the last few months on LinkedIn. So I don't rely on LinkedIn to get new clients. My clients usually come when either from my Notion partner profile, or they also come through recommendations. when I worked with one client and then they were really happy with what I did, then they started talking about Notion. They don't even have to recommend me. They really like what is happening in their own business, how they're using Notion. Then they start talking with other business owners, companies. We started Notion, and then how did you start? Oh, we had Sanja, and this is how new clients also come.
So it's those people who felt the magic of Notion
Yeah.
solutions that go
Yeah.
to you.
Sometimes, I have also a YouTube channel, and I think if anyone would look at my numbers on my YouTube channel, it's really a joke because my videos get 50 views or something like that. So it's really, really low. You cannot go lower
This is
than
not
that.
low.
Uh, Really? 50 views in a couple
No,
of months per video? Okay.
we're still below that numbers. It's not really low.
I don't believe that. Come on. But what I wanted to say, also the other day, a person approached me, founder of one startup, saying, I watched your video and I liked it, but I don't understand this. Can we meet, and can you then explain further and help us out with that? So just watching at the numbers on YouTube, you would never say, I can actually get clients from it, but that's also one source of
Yeah,
them.
and that is an important thing. You don't need to look at the numbers, even if it's 50 or 5 views. You can get
Yeah.
clients from it.
Yeah. I started YouTube mostly because I know how, just to say, Notion is good for your company, it's just empty. There's no substance in it. So I wanted to show some examples of what it is that you can do. And this is why I'm creating those videos so that, people can actually see what they can expect.
You need to educate your audience perhaps a bit longer than some other people who deal with less complex tools, I would say. So I think your LinkedIn presence is probably important for that. So somewhere down the line, somebody who's playing around with Notion today for the first time in 2 years will think, okay, I am in over my head. I need an expert. There was a Sanja. I remember, yeah, I first started Notion because of her, because I saw one of her
Yeah.
posts. So I will contact her now. So I think your LinkedIn presence matters, and your visibility does matter, even though it takes quite a lot of time to get to a result.
Yeah, not just talking about clients. I would really love it if we would have, say, a Notion community in Croatia. I did try something like that with opening a LinkedIn group for Notion Croatia, but in the end it was just me posting, so I also kind of was a bit down about it. I know it takes time and everything, but now the next thing that I'm thinking about, and I'm sorry that Mirta is not here today live in the comments, but she gave me an idea that we could actually, how about if we do some kind of a Notion meetup, not online but in person? So maybe that would be something that people would feel more comfortable with, to actually meet and talk about it. So that's probably the next idea and the next thing to do. If anyone in Zagreb is interested in helping me organize something like that, please let me know.
Yeah, and they can contact you via your website or LinkedIn profile. But here's the link for the website where they can also find the YouTube videos that bring you clients.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Notion Meetup is in the making. Croatian Notion Meetup is in the making at the
I
moment.
hope it will be nice. Would you come, Darko?
I don't use it that
Ah,
much, but if there be any food, of course I'll come.
okay. Noted.
Food or
Maybe
dog.
to hear something what happened new in the last year. I'm using it well, maybe not on a daily basis, but a couple of times a week, and I didn't see that much differences in the last year. But that's probably because I'm not using this advanced stuff.
Yeah, probably. I see differences almost every week. They just release some new feature, and then you're like, was this here before? Okay, okay, this is nice.
Yeah. Let's see. Samuel is thanking for clarification,
You're
and
welcome.
if someone is having a question about the Notion or how to implement it, or even about the Notion meetup, here now is the time to ask you, as we're kind of getting to the end of our conversation, and we'll put. Oh, just wait a moment till I see where this is. This link for opening Notion with some additional goodies, not just the basic free version that you provided. And is there something, Sanja, that you feel we didn't ask you, and that would be really interesting for our viewers to know?
There probably is, but I can't think of it at the moment.
What is
Yeah,
the
something
one?
about Vinted, I'd say.
What is the one thing that people normally misunderstand about Notion that you would like to clarify?
Uh, Usually people start by thinking, what tools is Notion going to replace? And then they're trying to copy paste their current tools into Notion. And I think that is not a good approach, because if you're copy pasting something, then just use the original. So a better way and a better approach would be, okay, we are using tool X for process epsilon. Let us think about that process. Let us see how that process is currently running. Let us try to improve that process by migrating the process into Notion, not just copy pasting what we are doing in different tools.
It takes thinking about what the process is. And I think that could be an issue for a lot of people, which is where people like you come in to sit down
Yeah.
and think, okay, these are the elements that we have, and this is the best way to implement it. So I would encourage people to find you and talk about the processes a bit, because they might get a clearer picture first and then a tool that they can use on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, especially in companies where you have multiple teams who are working together, then it will pay off if you also spend some time and energy going through your processes, and not just, we installed it and now here, employees go ahead and use it. They won't. They won't. And you can pay for it. You can even pay for the enterprise plan. It won't help. It won't help. So you should really, if you want to do it, then do it right.
Yeah, you can bribe the dogs, but not the people. So you need to do it really right so they get used to it.
I mean, you can bribe people, but it depends,
But they will not use it
Yeah, it
anyway.
depends. It depends really what the outcome will be. Yeah.
All right. I don't see any new questions. Sometimes they can be a bit delayed. So, Sanya will come back to you if we see something new under the event. It will stay there. So, if you have any comments, you can leave them there. You can also contact Sanya directly. I think everyone's noticed your love and enthusiasm for this tool, so they shouldn't be intimidated by it. You're there to answer questions you've heard millions of times, probably. I see that a lot of people have scanned the QR code, so there's definitely interest there, even though people might not have a clear idea right now how to use it. So we encourage everyone to tinker around, experiment, and see some of the options that they're there, and to look at your videos to have a better understanding of the basics. Is there anything else you would like to tell them for the end?
Yeah, I mean, for our local audience from Croatia, please do join that Notion Croatia LinkedIn group. Even though it's not that active, but you can start by asking your questions there, and I will be happy to answer it. I will be even happy to help you set up your own system. So the more specific your question will be, then my answer will be better. So you can use it to also learn to, I mean, use my help there for free, to put it simple.
Thank you for such an offer. And from what I can say, my experience, you helped me much with using Notion and implementing it in my workflow. So everyone that is listening, you really should take that offer and start using Notion with the help of Sanja.
I'm happy to help. I mean, I know that people don't have all the time in the world to go now and to explore all the options. So, especially, if you have some deadlines and something like that, then you have to solve something quickly. Then, yeah, I will know how to do it much quicker than if you now start exploring it from scratch.
Use the opportunities you have, folk. Sanya, thank you for generously giving us your time the way you do to people on LinkedIn as well. And we hope that some new connections and new meetups and new communities will come out of this episode as well.
Thank you for inviting me. And if we actually do manage to make that local meetup happen, I hope I will see you both there. And yeah, I will make sure to for some food to be there.
Excellent. We're
I'll
coming.
be there for sure then. Thank you once again.